It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I have said I was going to do a live stream of Unemployed to Legend on YouTube, but I was kind of advised not to do it on YouTube because it kind of tanks how your channel performs, especially if you leave a live stream up on the channel. And considering how young and how much I want to grow the channel, I can't really afford to be doing that right about now. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue the Unemployed to Legend episodes, and with that in mind, let's get on with the new Premier League season. Welcome back everyone to Unemployed to Legend. It has been a while. This is episode 11 of our time here at Norwich City. Since you were last with me, nothing's actually happened. It's just the end of the transfer window. Well, the start of the new season, the end of the main part of the summer transfer window. And if you haven't seen my last episode, I advise going back and watching it, because that's where a lot of the summary of the players we've actually bought in and let go over the summer has actually occurred. But just to give you the quick headline of the players who we have actually bought in, so all the way from Andre Cepids or Cevspades, I still don't know how to pronounce his name, of those players that we bought in, the biggest one we did was Christian Ouedraogo, a 19-year-old French wonder kid on loan from PSG. The player that I've been chasing for the last couple of years, and judging by his attributes and also now by his relative experience that he's got at this age. 90 appearances at 19 years old. He's currently off at the Olympics, so we won't see him in the first game of this episode. But just drink it in. I mean, this is why I wanted to bring him in. A left winger, you can play up front, you can also play attacking midfield. Mentals are disgustingly good at 19 years old. He's a great technical player. Physically, not as impressive, but he's still more than good enough for the Premier League, to be honest. A fairly professional wonder kid as well. What's not to like about this man? 5-star potential as well, as you would expect from a wonder kid. But again, these are all covered, all the signings and players that we let go, all covered in the last episode, as well as on Twitch, which is where I did the summer transfers. Links will be down in the description. They're also in the intro as well, just in case you missed it. But today, we have the first couple of games, well, the first game of the season, and then we're going to skip to Wigan in the third Premier League game of the season. If you're excited about the start of the season, I know I am, especially about welcoming my old club, Wigan Athletic, back. First time I'm going to be coming up against them since I took charge at Norwich. If you're looking forward to this, make sure to hit the like button down below and smash the big red subscribe button. Really help out the channel. But first up, home against Leicester City to kick off the Premier League season. And this is the team that we're going to be sending out there. In goal, Verbruja, who is in permanently now on a £22.5 million deal. 18-year-old, is he 18 or not? He's 19 now. 19-year-old Belgian, under 21 international. 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. Goalkeepers wise, he is probably our best goalkeeper. But we're going to persist with him because we know exactly what he's about from his season with us in the Championship. He's taken over from Daniel Bachmann, and our new goalkeeper, Andre Cepids, will be our backup, if anything. Probably later down in the season, Bachmann will be on the bench anyway to start the season. Gonzalez at left-back, Mavropanos, and new signing Matteo Lovato at centre-back. Lovato just come in over the summer, 24-year-old Italian centre-back, 3.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. He's not capped by Italy per se, but he's basically someone who we've rated Burnley for. A bit like what we did with Nicolo Armini when we were at Wigan. And Armini went on to have a very good season for us, and he's now at Borussia Dortmund. I'm hoping for more of the same from Matteo Lovato, except I want him to stay this time. Teethan Mengi, our new right-back signing at, right-back. He's in place of Max Aarons, who is out with a double hernia for 3 weeks. So he'll be back at the end of the month. But Teethan Mengi is someone who's come in, £4.7 million. He's only ever played for me. He's basically my signing. So I'm very, very happy to welcome him in permanently. Exposito, a new signing, Jean-Philippe Gamin. At the base in the midfield, Gamin is basically Jacob Davenport, to be honest. Just stronger. His strength of 15, his pace is 14, acceleration 12, his aggression, his bravery is so high as well. He's basically Davenport, just stronger. Just I can imagine sort of bodybuilder type, 3.5 star current ability. Yes, he's 28 years old, but he's got that Premier League experience, and we got him for £1.5 million. Cut price bargain for Jean-Philippe Gamin. Joe Willock is back on loan from Arsenal. He's at left wing. Todd Cantwell attacking midfield. Ferdy right wing, and our original wonder kid Peter Lynch up front. 19-year-old English striker coming along very nicely. He's continued improving over the summer. He's hoping for another season of massive improvement. It's his first time in the Premier League. We shall see how he gets on. This is the side that we're going to be sending out. There are going to be other signings that you'll see as well. As I mentioned, Christian Udrago, he's currently at the Olympics, and I believe he's reached the final, which means he's not going to be coming back until probably in the next game, which means hopefully you'll see him against Wigan. I know a lot of you will be keen to avenge what happened when we last played Leicester. Well, what happened when they last played Leicester? If that was in the Premier League, that was before my time, so I have zero idea as to what has actually happened. Let's just make sure everyone's motivated, although they should be. First day of the season. If they're not motivated, I don't know how to help them. Oops, I didn't click play. There we go, and it's all been sorted. When I click pause, oh, I thought it was stuck on 6 screens on the tablet, but unfortunately I still can't sort out my screen, so I don't know how to actually get the extra screens down here at the bottom. I've just noticed though, we are at home today, and I don't know how this is actually going to go. We've gone 4-2-3-1. God, I just smacked the bar. Maddison puts it in anyway. I thought we just got lucky there, but it wasn't to be. I wasn't too sure how it's going to go today, because the last time I got into the Premier League with Wigan, we didn't have a great start to the season. We got smacked 3 games in a row, and one of them wasn't a home game as well. Ironically, it was against Leicester where I got my first Premier League win at Wigan. I'm kind of hoping for more of the same today, but I don't think... Well, it's not been a great start. I mean, who knows? Although saying that, how defensive are Leicester going to be? 3-3-2-2. That's stupid. What are they doing? I know they're away from home, but you would kind of think... Oh, that's just a terrible back pass, and Correa is in, and I don't know what was happening there. Our defence just at 6s and 7s there. It's almost like we got first day nerves, and it's quite sad to see Lovato heading that away expertly. If Exposito can get on the end of this, which he does, and unfortunately he doesn't quite have the pace. It's not like we have a terrible squad per se. We have a Premier League squad, but unfortunately we are going to be behind a lot of the more established teams, if you will. And as we approach half time here, we've created absolutely nothing, which kind of makes me think, should we be going 4-3-3? But I feel like it's a bit too early to go there at the moment. Yeah, I expect to see a much better showing from all of you in the second half. And I'm just thinking, what could we even do changes-wise? I mean, absolutely nothing happened in that first half. Todd Cantwell's not been involved. In fact, no one's played well except for Lovato, who we saw make that one clearance. I'm just thinking, if we bring on Balogun and put Peter Lynch out on the right-hand side, Balogun can go up front. I think that's the one change we are going to make. Ferdy is going to be the sacrificial lamb on this occasion, which is a shame. He's a good player with a lot of flair, but maybe the Premier League is just beyond him. And if that's the case, then there's nothing I can really do about that at this point. Okay, a highlight. Gonzalez into Cantwell. This is the first time I've seen us actually have the ball for an extended period. There's Mengi on the right-hand side. And Balogun! What a sub! What a start for Balogun this season. How much did he come in for? I think £9.5 million signing. First day, first goal. That's exactly what I wanted to see to justify the expense. Mengi with the ball on the right-hand side. Picks out Balogun very, very well in the middle. And Balogun just expertly slots home. There was a time I was very worried about Balogun's finishing. He was very inconsistent, especially at championship level, but he's started to come good for us. In his last season in the championship, obviously last season when he was on loan with us, he banged in 22 goals, and it just looks like he's starting to feel a little bit of that potential. Gamin is not having the best of games, so what we're going to do, Stiller is going to come on. I was kind of considering him or Davenport, but we'll go with Angelo Stiller, my German ball-winning midfielder. But very, very happy to see that from Balogun. and hopefully that will help him kick on for the whole season. Right, it's 84 minutes on the clock here. We've got one more sub in us. And I'm just thinking, who could actually come on? Cantwell can play on the left-hand side, and what we're going to do... I wish I had Shasalba on the bench. I really do, because I'd have brought him on instead of Alzate. But Alzate is going to come on attacking midfield. Can he actually play? He can play on the left-hand side as well, but Cantwell's not had the greatest of games out there. And Cantwell can play on the wing anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But at the moment, 1-1, going into the 90th minute. We're still very positive. Stiller with the corner. And there it is. Oh, I thought it just snuck in there, but I was about to say that's Gammon with the header, but he's gone off already because Stiller's on the pitch. Lovato into Lynch. Lynch has been more or less absent on that right-hand side, and that's probably a good reason. Great tackle there, by the way. But Correa is in. Oh, great save. Great save by Verbuja. And hopefully, if I could just see us over the line for a point, then I'll take it. First day of the season, I'm going to take it, even if it is at home. But it's against Leicester City, who I don't know where they actually finished. Yeah, I don't know where Leicester actually finished last season. If we could just have a check, or where they're supposed to finish this season, we may as well just have a look at that and just see, are we up against a side who is actually half decent? Are we up against a European side? More to the point. Right, so I've just had a look at the season preview, and Leicester are predicted to finish around 8th. So they're expected to be sort of in that European conversation. So a 1-1 draw at home against Leicester is not the worst result in the world, considering we're predicted to finish 16th. I would rather start to get the points on the board early than actually leave it a bit too long, like I did previously at Wigan. It is now Sunday morning, and I had this episode all finished Saturday morning so I could edit it today and bring it all out, only for the second match against Wigan Athletic to completely mess up. The video for some reason kept glitching and just freezing, and there's no way that I can actually save it. So unfortunately I had to skip that game, and we've now got to go to the next league game at home against West Ham United. So since the last match, not last episode, but the last match against Leicester, we drew 1-1 against Southampton. We beat Wigan 3-2, my old team, which I was really, really looking forward to bringing to you, but I can't account for the fact OBS decided to mess up on me. And then a 2-0 win away at Huddersfield in the League Cup. So we go into this match now, hoping that the OBS recording decides to work. And this is the team that I'm going to be bringing to you this time, now that we have a few injury-prone people who are now back. And this is the starting 11. Verbuja in goal, Gonzalez at left back with Mavropanos and Lovato at centre back. Max Sounds is back for his first appearance of the season at right back, which is just as well, because Tiden Mengi is now out for the next 2 to 3 weeks with a fractured toe. I was about to say what that injury was. It's a fractured toe, so he'll be back around September. Exposito and Stiller at the base in midfield. Udrago, he did make an appearance for me against Southampton, then got injured, so he actually missed the Wigan game. So this will be the first time you'll see him in action, and hopefully he'll be able to perform just as he did against Southampton. He already has an assist to his name in the Premier League. Cantwell in attacking midfield, Peter Lynch in right wing, and Following Balogun, who has hit the ground running so far this season, and long may that continue, as the sole striker. And like I said, Balogun's hit the ground running this season. He's got 4 goals in the first 4 games of this season, so it's not always doable, but if you could keep it up at like a goal a game this season, I'll be very, very happy. Right, come on lads, show me what you can do. We are home against West Ham. They've also just come up with us. So this is a game I would look for us to win. And hopefully we can win it, continue our decent start to the season. I say decent start, it's actually been a pretty good start to the season. Certainly an improvement of when I was in the Premier League with Wigan, where we took beating after beating, and that was just at the very start of the season. But we start with good intentions. We intend to go on the attack, and I've just noticed they're playing effectively a 5-2-3 system. They're playing wing-backs, but it's quite defensive per se. Stiller with the corner, and Mavropanos again not there. There is Lynch, and there is Udrago. He just got the ball just before the goalkeeper. It was a good tackle by the defender, but Udrago using that beautiful agility that he has to sneak in and steal his first goal for the club An assist and a goal in his first 2 games. And I was about to say, it's very early in the game. No, it's not. It's just the first highlight. It's 28 minutes gone. Lynch bringing the ball forward very nicely, but it was tackled by the defender. Ouedraogo steals in. 1-0 to the Canaries. And Ouedraogo, it looks like he's given everything. It's been 40 minutes, man. What do you do in your spare time? You've given everything. Interesting. Is he still tired from the Olympics? Let's have a look here. Oh my god, so he's actually very knackered already. Well, it's a good thing we've got Joe Willock on the bench. Might be a case I have to take off. That plan just went out the window. Gonzalez now has an injury. We're picking up way too many injuries in this squad. Gonzalez now has to come off, and Castillo, who he's made an okay start to life at Norwich. I mean, he's not had many games per se, but he did play against Huddersfield, and he actually performed very well up and down that left-hand side. So hopefully we'll see more of the same here today. He's been one of those players, I mentioned this before, he's one of those players who we had high hopes for. I mean, the footballing world, when he was at Ajax and Chelsea, but he just never quite fulfilled that potential. He's still only 24 years old. He's not exactly what you call an old man, per se. But getting to the Premier League at this time in his career, actually playing in the Premier League, it will feel quite late to him. We are going to take off Christian. I'm not risking him. He's already been injured once. Joe Willock can come on that left-hand side. He can normally play there at left wing. He's lasted an hour, and that's just being generous. He was tired after 40 minutes. I do feel Ouedraogo maybe might just have to play as a bit part player to start the season, because if he's not going to last the full 90 minutes, we're going to need to improve his stamina somehow. Castillo just about keeping the ball in. Yep, just about get the ball in. Exposito with the cross, and Balogun with his 5th goal of the season. I think it was a bit of a scramble in the penalty area there. I don't think the defenders really cleared it as much as they should have. I think it was just bouncing between them, and Balogun just stole in for his 5th goal of the season. Not too dissimilar to Christian earlier in the game. And yeah, it was just bouncing between defenders. I think there's Gibson, our former player, who just couldn't clear the ball in time, and Balogun just stole in ahead of him. It was saying actually in the newsfeed, yep, he's looking forward to facing us against A1, not after that terrible display. And speaking of terrible display, just Felipe Anderson just getting away from our defenders there. It's quite a contrast to last season, to be honest, when our defenders were very solid at the back. They could keep clean sheets, obviously, but the problem is, of course, we're up against Premier League opposition now. That's the big problem. And they are quite nervy at the back for obvious reasons. And they're in again here. Thankfully, we win the ball back. Peter Lynch coming back and doing some defensive duties. It's always nice to see that, but I'm not exactly expecting him to come back. Why are we just playing long balls? For goodness sake. It says play shorter passing. They're just starting to get a bit nervous now, and this is a big problem. Let's just drop that line a little bit, because it's clear that the forwards, they're just very, very isolated right now. And what a tackle, by the way. Was that Max Aarons? I think that was Max Aarons. I can't click on him because he's too fast. He's too fast. I can't click on him. Whatever. As long as he does his defensive job, I'm more than happy. Just over 10 minutes to go here. Just thinking about final changes, and I'm looking at that midfield. That's very, very tired already. Schuss Alba or Gamin? I'm looking at Gamin. Alba's looking very nervous. So you know what? Gamin's going to come on for Stiller. Unfortunately, Lynch and Exposito. I know you're tired, guys. I know you are, but there's not much else I can do. Gonzalez got injured. Ouedraogo just went absolutely crazy during the week and decided he had no stamina left. Slow the pace down, bit of time wasting. This is how we're going to do. Why is there 6 minutes? Good grief. How bad was the injury to Gonzalez? In fact, we'll find out after this game, but a lot of our players starting to tire, and they can go away and rest now. if they're not playing internationals, because it's now a 2-week break. A 2-1 win, kind of nervy in the end, but overall 3 points, very, very happy with that. And it's a solid start in the season. Look at that, 6th place in the league, albeit everyone else, half the other teams are yet to play, but hey, to be in that top 6 conversation, even this early in the season, I will absolutely take. And Gonzalez is out for 3 to 4 weeks. He unfortunately joins Mengi on the physio's bench. Right, we are going to be back. I did say after the Wigan game we'll be back some point in October. That hasn't changed. I will more than likely come back for the Everton and West Brom games in October. Hopefully, we can continue our good start to the season. Although with Chelsea, Man City and Tottenham on the horizon, it's going to be very interesting if we can do even that. This start to the season that we've had has been worthy of a like on this video and a smashing of the red button for a subscribe. We're trying to get to 50 subscribers as soon as possible. I'm currently on, I think, 43 at the moment. So if we can get to 50 as soon as possible, that would be smashing. But thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.